nation, no matter the location. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider.
2 episodes in 1 day. Why is that? Because we got some breaking news here on the Raiders Report. The Las Vegas Raiders are planning to cut Tyrell Williams once the new league year starts. When is the new league year? March 17th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So, is he technically released yet? No. Is he going to get cut? Yes. I mean, we've known this for quite some time at this point now. Now, for this move for the Raiders, it's actually going to save them $11.5 million ultimately. He didn't play in 2020 due to a foot injury. He also didn't play because of a shoulder injury here. So, multiple different things here for the Las Vegas Raiders and multiple different things here for Tyrell Williams, which is why that it's not too big of a surprise that this team is finally deciding to move on from him. I talked to Tyrell in last offseason. I had an interview with him. He was actually one of the very first Raiders players, if not, I believe, the first Raiders player that I ever got to interview. Super nice dude. I'm always going to wish him the best because I know he's a hardworking player. And when he was on the field, he was a productive player. The biggest issue was he couldn't quite stay healthy. Now, for the Raiders and for Williams, I'm looking down here in my notes, and it says that he should be healthy in 2 to 3 weeks from now. For the Raiders, they've just been waiting way too long to really ultimately see what kind of receiver Tyrell's going to be. And for that, and the $11.5 million that they can save by releasing him is ultimately why it happened. So I think everyone would agree here. You're going to wish Tyrell the best, right? Because he didn't, I guess, want the injuries. Nobody wants the injuries. But I do want you to like the video if you thought this was the right move. I think it was the right move. I know a lot of y'all out there also are going to agree with me. So what I want you to do, we are an interactive YouTube channel. If you thought the Raiders releasing Tyrell Williams and saving $11.5 million to invest in the defense was the right move, I want you to like the video. Let's talk about what he did in 2019. My hopes were very, very high for him, who came out pretty strong. I mean, he scored, I believe, 3 touchdowns his first 3 games. It might have actually been 5 touchdowns his first 5 games. And then he started battling the foot injury where he had plantar fasciitis. He kind of said that his foot was on fire and really couldn't quite get back onto the football field, and that really hindered his numbers. And then in the 2 seasons that he played with the Raiders, I mean, only 14 games. When they ended up bringing him in the offseason of 2019 or 2018, they paid him 4 years, $44 million, which they were looking for that number 1 receiver. They were looking for a solid 1B. I don't really think Tyrell was ever supposed to be the number 1 receiver. Remember, and everyone type in the comments, FAB. They wanted to be able to bring in Antonio Brown and Tyrell to be that 1-2 punch for Derek Carr to really open things up. Now, it didn't work out with Tyrell, so you could really see the Raiders building towards the future. That was the biggest reason why they went out, I think, and drafted a guy like Henry Ruggs. It's also a big reason why they went out and drafted Bryan Edwards. As soon as the Raiders drafted Bryan Edwards in the 3rd round, 81 overall this past year's draft, I was like, they're done with Tyrell. They're going to be moving on from him. That's your replacement. So what's your one-word reaction to this news here, okay? The Raiders moving on, cutting Tyrell Williams. What's your one-word reaction? Mine's probably expected. I can't really say that I'm shocked whatsoever. I mean, out of all the players, this was the number 1 dude where I was like, they're just going to move on from him. If you guys want to come up with another word besides expected, I expect some of y'all probably type in Bryan Edwards as well. What is your one-word reaction to the Raiders moving on from Tyrell Williams? So as soon as he missed the entire 2020 season, as soon as we got word that he ended up tearing his labrum and he wasn't going to play, this was just kind of reading the tea leaves here. So from not playing in 2020, from being banged up in 2019, from Bryan Edwards, who also was injured this past year as a rookie, he's basically the same height, the same build that you're looking for in Williams, but he's going to be a lot cheaper, and there's a lot of talent in free agency, especially at the wide receiver position. Hell, there's even a lot of talent in the draft. So as it stands right now, this is what the Raiders' wide receiver depth chart is going to look like. Nelson Agholor, who is also going to test free agency, but you at least have Henry Ruggs, you have Bryan Edwards, you have Hunter Renfrow. As it stands right now, those are going to be your top 3 options. Am I really confident in those top 3? No. Are they good? Sure. but you still need to be able to find that number one receiver. Now, you could potentially bring back Nelson Aguilar. I've seen reports between $7.5 million all the way up to Tyrell Williams type of money where he was making $11.5 million per year. It's going to be really interesting to see what the Raiders do this offseason because we know that defense is the major need. However, you still need to be able to put up points, and Derek Carr still needs to be able to find some options there. So if the Raiders do go out and decide to bring in some top players in free agency at the wide receiver position, we're going to be making videos. If they do any more breaking news videos, guess what? We're going to be here keeping you updated. So make sure you hit that big red button that says subscribe. Plus, we go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. And if you just want random Raiders videos literally every single day, we're the channel for you. So hit that big red button that says subscribe. And as you can see, I made this video probably, I'm going to say a month ago, possible players that the Raiders could cut to save some money on the cap. I had Tyrell Williams on the thumbnail for a reason. It was expected. He was the number one player that I said, this is going to be the guy the Raiders move on from to ultimately save some money. So now you move on from him. You clear $11.5 million. What does the offseason ultimately look like now for the Raiders? A lot of y'all are looking at the second note, cap space. So before I made the video, they were at $18 million, okay? Now you subtract $11.5 million, hashtag math, and now you're at about $7.2 million. It's the 23rd most in the National Football League. This is still a team, though, that they can really move on from some other contracts. They can really clear up some space. The Raiders have 7 picks in the 2021 NFL Draft. That can actually become 8 picks if they decide to move on from Takk McKinley, who right now is a conditional 5th-round pick. But at the end of the day, Tyrell, did he wear silver and black? Yes. Was he a fun player when he was actually on the field? Yes. Was he a fan favorite? Absolutely. However, he couldn't stay healthy, and for this team, if you can't figure out ways to stay on the field, I'm sorry, you just got to move on. We got to build that defense and save some money other places. If you're also trying to save some money, it's not going to cost you $11.5 million for flowers. At least, I hope not. But if you do want to be able to get an awesome deal, 15% off all flowers and gifts at chatsports.com/flowers. Valentine's Day. It is coming up. It's right around the corner. And if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, man, I forgot to get my loved one something, you're in trouble. You might get cut. You might be headed to the free agency wire a lot sooner than Tyrell Williams. But maybe you don't want flowers. Or maybe your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other, they don't want flowers. They got chocolates. Look at these things. These are donuts covered in chocolate on a stick. That might be the greatest thing that I've ever heard of. Now, maybe you want a charcuterie board. They have those. You want bubble bath stuff? It's all there. Leave the gifts up to the professionals. All you got to do is go to the link that you see below here. It's chatsports.com/flowers to be able to save 15% off literally everything on Valentine's Day. Now, free agency is going to be coming up here, and I'm excited to see it because it's going to be starting March 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and tampering period is right around 48 hours before that, so March 15th, 4 p.m. Now, who are some other options that the Raiders could potentially go out and sign on the free agent market at the wide receiver position? Here are the 5 big names. These are my top free agent wide receivers in 2021. I got Allen Robinson. He's my number one dude. If you're going to pay anyone on this list, you pay him. Chris Godwin's probably going to end up going back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the other reason why I wanted to be able to show this, I made a video 4 hours ago around the potential of the Raiders being very interested in Juju Smith-Schuster. If you care to see more on that topic, please go check out the videos and go check out all the videos that we have here on the Raiders Report. So before I leave you, one more time, the Raiders are planning to cut Tyrell Williams, but it's going to happen at the start of the new year, March 17th. What are you waiting for? Hit the big red button that says subscribe.